Hi everyone. Well, this is one of those times where the old saying applies, where the rubber meets the road. We've reached a point now where we want to try to narrow down on the title of the film that we're going to be, the feature film that we're going to be releasing on Steemit over the next 12 to 18 months. Now, I say 12 to 18 months because the idea of the release of this film is going to be to give you an inside view of all the things that are happening from literally from the get-go right through to the theatrical release, the red carpet, the whole bit, including the film festivals that we'll be in, selection of talent, the actual production shooting, and so on. So it should be a lot of fun. It should be insightful, and I hope a lot of you are going to come along for the ride. We're certainly excited about it. But as I say, now we're getting to the point where we have to make some decisions. And one of those decisions I want to work on today is, of course, the selection of title for the film. Now, it's very difficult, you being on the outside at this point, to be able to choose a title. We've selected 3, and we're going to ask you your opinion of which one you think would be best. And I'm also going to give you an opportunity to suggest a title for the film as well. And if we end up using that, you will get credit in the film for the selection of that title. Now, the way we're going to have to do this is I'm going to give you the log line first. And then what I'm going to do is share with you a little bit of the backstory and some of the details of the film and as to why these 3 particular titles have been selected, okay? So let's start right away, let's look at the actual log line for the film, and we'll see, in fact, where this is going to take us. Now, the film is virtually finished. It's not in its final draft, but it's in certainly more than a draft format. And it will be changed a little bit here and there. It'll be polished and so on as we move along. And that'll be the case right up to the point where we lock it down for production. All right, but this was the log line that I wrote, which brought about the writing of the film. Okay, so here it is. Abandoned at birth, a troubled young man who dreams of being a rock star is befriended by a stranger who keeps secret from the boy he's gay, dying, and his biological father. All right, so if you've watched any of the blogs I did on log lines, you can measure this up against the log line. I think you'll find it fits. And for me, it was a pretty powerful log line, which resulted, I hope, in a really good screenplay, and one that'll turn into a great movie. Anyways, so now let me tell you a little bit of background on the story. So this is a gay rock star, one-hit wonder. Decides that after he gets his girlfriend pregnant, decides that he's going to abandon the boy and the mother and go on his career instead. For whatever reason that is brought out in the film, I won't share much with you now, but you can understand, I think this being 25 years ago, the difficulties that he might face having to be straight or playing straight as a father. Back then, obviously, it wasn't as open as it is today. So, and he chose, sadly, to abandon the boy and the mother and go off onto his career. Then, of course, the boy's mom dies. She doesn't tell him anything about his father. The kid's really brought up with stepfathers, whatever, troubled because of it. And at the same time, when the father of the boy finds out that he's dying, he suddenly has all this guilt, shame, and whatnot, and he decides that he's just got to try to make things right, but not enough courage to make it right openly. He's got to do it kind of behind the scenes, maybe because of the shame, I don't know. And this is where I borrowed a page from The Phantom of the Opera. What he does is he goes in and buys half of the bar that the boy's band is the house band for, and the father moves in upstairs, actually, simply to help guide the boy to make restitution for his bad choices in the past. Of course, everything falls apart at the end, and then there's a resolution that I think you'll all be very pleased with. So the first selection of title was for the name of the bar, because this is the location where everything happens. And it does make sense. The bar is called the Stoker's Furnace, and that was the first name or the title for the film, Stoker's Furnace, okay? The second title is a little more emotional in the sense that it plays on the heartstrings of, let's call him a deadbeat dad. He did abandon the boy, right? And his guilt. When the boy was born, they named him Peter. So consequently, to the father, the boy is Peter. But of course, when he was abandoned, the boy was abandoned, the mother changed the name of the boy to Boston, never let on he was Pete, etc. But we do find out through a series of events that the father, in this case, still sees the boy as Peter, I should say. And so he embarks upon this rebirth to make right his mistakes, to learn from his mistakes, make right by the boy. And so the second title that we came up with was For the Love of Pete. So that's the second title. The third title we came up with was something that was a little more akin to the dream that a father has maybe for his son or daughter. He sees them in the light maybe of his own world. If he's a lawyer, he likes his son more often than not to be a lawyer, son or daughter to be a lawyer. Again, if he's a physician, maybe his son or daughter could be a physician following in his father's footsteps, that type of thing. And so we kind of wanted to try to create, what is the image in this man's eye? What does he see when he thinks of his Pete, when he thinks of his Peter, his son? The idea being that the dream that he holds for him, and of course, since this guy is a bit of a one-hit wonder rock star, a bit of a deadbeat now and run down and kind of out of the scenes right now, we ended up deciding that a title for this might be called My Beautiful Rock Star. So think of this as the image in this man's eye of what this son could be, and maybe what he's going to help him try to be. Okay, so those are the three titles: Stoker's Furnace, the bar in which it all happens; For the Love of Pete, the name he had for the boy, and so he's embarking upon this mission to make things right for the love of Pete. And the third one is My Beautiful Rock Star, the dream the father has for his son or daughter, and how he sees it coming about. And then, of course, there's the fourth option, that option being, what do you think the title should be if not one of these three? And again, as I say, if we do select that as a title, you'll get credit for selecting the title in the actual credits of the film, okay? So that's it. You don't have to be a film junkie to get involved in this. Just simply give it some thought. Think in terms of marketing. The idea being, you've got the benefit of the backstory I gave you, and maybe some of the information in the log line, but the public, when they see a poster, doesn't really see the log line. They don't have this backstory, so it's got to grab them just simply from the point, gee, I think I'd like to see that movie. There's something interesting maybe about it. Now, part of that is going to be what we call the tagline. We haven't decided on that yet as well, and I'm going to involve all of you in that too. We'll make some suggestions, but also have opportunities for you to come up with your own, again, earning credits and so on. So think in terms of marketing, which one's going to grab people the best. And if you don't think any of the three are that good, then say so. Don't like any three. All right, so I guess you really got 5 options, right? The 3 suggested, your own, or I don't like any of them, all right? So that's it. I look forward to your response. If you've got any questions, I'll answer every one. And I'll let you know down the line what the results were, okay? So take care. I hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to the next one. Bye-bye now.